guess that's good. Alexa, volume down. Hello. Hi, everyone. It's been a minute since I've made a live video. Well, I decided to go ahead and go on live because I'm making a couple of cards. And so, since I haven't done any real crafting videos, really, like, a craft with me or a tutorial or something, I decided to just go ahead and do a live right now. Okay, so first I want to show you what I received from Simon Says Stamps. It is a beautiful birthday card. My birthday was back in May. Okay, so it's almost the end of July, better late than never. But yeah, it is really, really cute, and I love how they made this with the stamp and all, and I love how thick it is. So I decided to go ahead and make a couple of cards. I was inspired by this birthday card from Simon Says Stamps. So the first card that I made, Alexa, volume down. So the first card that I made is the one, oh, hi, Laura. Hi, Dahlia. Is the one that a couple of weeks ago I uploaded a video with some embellishments that I made using dies, some steampunk dies that were sent to me in a PR package. And after the live video, I'll just go ahead and put all the links that you need to have if you are interested in creating something like this. So for this first card, I just went ahead and I used the embellished heart from the last video, and I popped it. As you can see, it is dimensional, and I just love making dimensional cards. Here is a background sheet from one of my paper collections, and it's adhered to just regular this type of cardstock. And so I thought that this would be something fancy, something nice to send out. And I did use 80-pound cardstock, and I still need to work on the inside of this card. So like I said, I was inspired by this one. Thank you so much, Laura. I think it's Laura. No, Heidi. I'm looking at Laura's name and I'm like, yeah, it's Laura. No, Heidi. And she used heavy cardstock. So I was inspired by that, and I looked through my stash, and I do have, thank you, and I do have 80-pound cardstock. And so I have scraps here and there, like I showed in my last video. I have a whole bunch of scraps. And so I went ahead and pulled this one out. Now, this other embellishment, this is done on a bookmark die that was doubled, okay, on watercolor paper so that it doesn't tear up and anything. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and make a slimline card. You know, the fad of slimline cards came and went too quickly, don't you think so? I mean, I started seeing slimline cards and they were good for about a minute. Everybody was making them, and then suddenly it stopped. Everybody stopped making slimline cards, and y'all went back to the regular size cards, which is, it's so funny because if you talk to people in the UK, United Kingdom, Ireland, all these different places in Europe, they love to make these ginormous cards, okay? And in the last what do you call it? Gosh, what is that called? It's been years. I went to the last one before 2020 happened, where you go in and you meet all of the brands and they have different kiosks. What is that called? Anyways, so I was invited by Spellbinders and Graphic 45, so I did get a trip to go there, okay? And people from England that came to that show were so astounded. They were like just floored that here in America, we only make A2 size cards. I mean, that's enough for us. We don't make these ginormous cards like they do. Every sample that they saw was A2. And they're like, oh my word, everything is A2, which I thought it was funny. And I think that one of the reasons why our cards are A2 at the most, unless you want to go a little bit larger, is because of the cost of um, the parcels. It's to save on stamps, and if you send something real thick and real big, you're going to pay an arm and a leg for it, because shipping is so expensive here in the USA. So I was thinking, that thought just came to mind. And so yeah, let's go ahead and resume the card making. Like I said, I found these from my scraps. I have a whole bunch of scraps. I thought about using this one, but then I was like, no, it could be a little bit too busy for something like this. See, even though it's still in the shabby chicness of it all, okay, yes, shipping is expensive, Dahlia. Even though it's in the shabby chic and whatnot, it's going to cover up the ladies, which is something that I don't want, and it's too much. So I went ahead and I'm going with something like this that really accentuates this part right here. So what I decided to do with this slimline card is, instead of going by your norm, whatever measurements they say that a slimline card should be, I'm not going to let that dictate this card making project. What's going to dictate the size of my slimline card is going to be the actual embellishment that I made for that last video that I uploaded. As you can see, it resembles, to me, it resembles a grandfather clock, and this is done with the steampunk dials. This is done with the steampunk dies sent to me from Globleland. Plus, I also use some dies from my stash. And see, here's that bookmark die that Dahlia made me buy when I saw her her video on those beautiful bookmarks that she made. And so, yeah, we're gonna let this dictate how tall and the width of the card. So that's what we're gonna do. So yeah, never mind the dogs and and the noise that you get to hear on the background. So I'm thinking about doing perhaps something like this. Let me go ahead and let's see what I want to do here. I think I want to go ahead and take a measurement of how tall this actually is. This is like almost 7. So what I think I want to do here is I want to keep the width of this, because this is going to go over something like this, okay? And this card is going to wind up being large, kind of like what the English like to do. Excuse me. And so let me bring my handy dandy paper cutter. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim off this excess white part right here. And I'm sorry if you don't hear me. So then I think what I want to do is, see this. Let me do this again. They always say measure twice, cut once, right? So this is going to be about a 7, so I want this to be a 7 1/4. Do I want it to be 7 1/4? Yeah, let me go ahead and make this 7 1/4. So that's 7 1/4. Okay. And this is going to go on top of this. Now, there's a little white line there that I really don't want to show, so I'm going to go ahead and just do that. So the 7 1/4 is going to be this. So the next one is going to be this. Let's see. We're going to build it from the top outward. So the next part is going to be, let's see, maybe 4 1/8. Yeah, 4 1/8. Let me see how. Here, this way's better. 4 1/4. This dictates 4 1/4. Let's just do 4 1/8 because I don't want it to be too whatchamacallit. Yeah, let's go ahead and do 4 1/8. I have so much stuff here. I'm sorry. I just need to like move a couple of things out of the way. Here we go. Okay, 4 1/8. There we go. Let me just kind of like go like so. Okay, and so now let me look at this. This right here measures 7 1/4. So this is gonna go to 7 and here 7 5/8. Yeah, that's what that is. 7 5/8. So this is going to look. This is gonna look like this. And see this right here, this edge. I don't like the way that edge looks. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of like trim hair off of that edge. Okay, so now we are good. Okay, and this is gonna go like so. See how simple it is once you get, because this is the star of the show. The embellishment is the star of the show. So, okay, so now what we're gonna do, and I don't know if everybody else does this. I have seen a few ladies use glue when adhering their cards, layering their cards and whatnot. I don't like to do that, and I don't know if it's because of the region that I live in. I'm in the Houston, Texas area, and this is just about the tropics, where you get high humidity and the heat during the summertime. And if you use glue, it's been my experience that if you use glue in the type of region that I'm at, regardless whether or not your home has AC, eventually your projects will warp, okay? If you use glue to adhere your cards or mini albums, whatever. So I spend a small fortune on double-sided tape just because of that, and the double-sided tape holds a heck of a lot better. It does not warp when you're in areas such as mine. So if you're in the Northeast, you might be very well just using glue, but down here in the South, it's like we have to use double-sided tape, and if you don't, your projects will eventually warp. When I first started crafting, and I would use glue with everything, you could see like my earlier projects, the difference between my earlier projects that I did use glue and my other projects where I used that expensive red tape. Y'all remember that red tape? Gosh, that tape was expensive, and I used to go through it like water. Alrighty, and so many years later, you could tell the difference between the projects that I use glue only and the other projects where I use the red tape on. It's the difference is like night and day, warped versus something that looks like I made last week. So yeah, that's just a tip for you if you live in the southern states like I do, or in a region that has a lot of humidity. So here we go. Okay, so now we have this part made, and I hope that I'm on frame. Am I in frame? Okay, yes I am. So now we have this, and this is going to dictate how the actual size of the card. So now we're looking at approximately 4 1/8 by 7 3/8. And you know what? I'm gonna have to write that down. I'm at the point in my life in which I have to write everything down. Oh gosh, see, here we go. This is why I have to write everything down. Okay, so alrighty, 4 1/8 by, this is 7 3/8. 7 3/8, which means that the actual card is going to be, see, here's a 4 1/8. The actual card is going to be 4 1/4. Let's go ahead and do 4 1/4 by 7 3/8. It'll be 7 1/2. So this is going to be the actual dimensions of the card, and I know I have chicken scratch here. Okay, so our card is going to be 4 1/4 by 7 1/2. So now I'm going to take, let's see, for my, see, I'm using 80-pound cardstock. Okay, heavyweight. And I'm going to go ahead and pull one of these out. And let's see, 7 1/2. We have a 7 1/2. Let's see. 4 1/4 plus 4 1/4 is going to equal to 8 1/2, which I believe is this, right? This is 8 1/2. Let me check to make sure. Yep, it's 8 1/2, so it's going to be this. Okay, so we are going to trim this way to 7 1/2. So let me just go ahead and do 7 1/2. Okay, and then right here we're going to put a mark in the middle and we're going to fold it in half, and there's our card. Put this away. Oh, okay, I put away my long, whatchamacallit, 7 1/2 by 8. This is the 8 part. Okay. Yep, that's 7 1/2 over there. So now we're going to mark this at 4 1/4. So this is 4 1/4. There we go. Just like that. And just like so. And this is going to go up here, just like that. Okay, now before I put this up here, I don't want to leave this, you know, like that. What I want to do here is I want to mat something here. So let me take out my trusty, let's see, this is going to be like so. Okay, I gotta see which, here, let me take an edge off of this. Okay, and over here we're gonna go, since this is 4 1/8, let's go ahead and do maybe like this much, 3 3/4 or 3 7/8. That'd be good. Let's see. Oh yeah, 3 7/8. And this is gonna go like this. Okay, and then on top of that, we're gonna have this leftover, goes like that. Now, what I could do here is I could just kind of like eye it and mark, you know, mark it a little bit like so. So that way I know to just trim it there, and there we have it. This way you could write the sentiments and whatnot. So let's go ahead and take care of that. And while once again, I'm going to use my double-sided tape. Here we go. And I don't like to rip my tape off like some of the crafters do. I hate that. To me, it's sloppy. So I don't rip it. And so this is why you always see me using scissors. I don't know, it might be an autistic trait of mine, you know. And I don't know if y'all know, the ones who are watching this video right now, but I have a son who has autism. He is high functioning autistic, and you know, you figure something like that must have been handed down from somebody, you know. And the more and more I think about it, I think that my son got it from me, because as a child, I was always that awkward child who didn't know how to make friends. And I was always the loner. I was always the girl who stood all by herself, that nobody talked to and everything. And I was always great at figuring numbers out. That's my forte. And also language and whatchamacallit, any type of symbols, I can decipher that in my head, you know. So I figure I must have some of those traits that unfortunately, or fortunately, as you could say, I pass them down to my son. And my son will tell you, to him, he's high functioning, by the way, but there are some things in which he is behind in, you know. And so he will tell you, he'll say, you know what, autism is my best friend just as it is my worst enemy, you know. And if you think about it, you'll see that he's right. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's such a beautiful boy. He's in his 20s now, but I couldn't have asked for a better son, I tell you. I couldn't have asked for a better son, because God bless him. He's so, how would I put it? He cares about people, you know. He cares about what happens to people, and he cares about what happens to the world, and he's always praying. He will bless his food. He blesses our food when we sit down to eat and everything. He's such a good kid. I love him so much. You know, that sometimes I worry about him, but Elaine, our daughter, who's younger than Vincent, she already knows. She's like, yeah, Ma, you know, when I tell her, I like, once we are gone, once Mom and Dad are gone, please don't ever let your brother fend for himself, you know. She's like, Mom, I know. So, you know, in anyone who has children in the spectrum, or any other type of you know, whether it's mental or physical impairment, as parents, we worry, you know. We worry about what's going to happen to them once we're gone, but you just got to leave it to our Heavenly Father. You got to trust in Him, and you got to, you know, trust that He will take care of everything that needs to be taken care of. So, yeah. So going back to the card, here we go. Like I said, I like using the double-sided tape. And here we go. And I haven't done a live in like forever. I'm so glad that I decided to do a live right now, because quite often when I craft, I know that some of the ladies will go ahead and turn on their YouTube, and they will follow people's videos while they craft. Me, I don't do that. I do the complete opposite. If I am crafting, unless it's a tutorial, okay? If it's a tutorial that I'm following, I'll go ahead and craft along and pause. And sometimes, you got to rewind it to catch those measurements again. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? And so, anyways, unless it's a tutorial that I'm following, when I'm crafting like this, I don't watch YouTube videos, crafty videos, because I don't want to be, whatchamacallit, indecisive on what I should do, because watching everybody's videos, I'll be like, oh, maybe I should do it like this, or no, maybe I should do it like that. No. When I craft, what I will do is I'll either put on some scary movies, because I love watching scary movies. Nothing gorish, though. Decapitations and mutilations. I am not into that. Okay? Like spooky, like ghosts and spirits and stuff like that. That's what I enjoy watching, because I find it entertaining, I actually do. I find it very entertaining. Because I'll be talking to the screen, I'll be like, don't go there, burro. It's so funny. But yeah, I like to watch scary, spooky stuff. And sometimes I'll watch like ghost stories on YouTube, or sometimes I'll even listen to podcasts. I enjoy listening to podcasts, because it gets you thinking, about stuff. So yeah, that's what I'll do when I'm crafting. I am not following anyone's videos or anything like that. When I'm watching YouTube, it's just me with my eyes on the screen, because I give it my utmost attention. Hang on, I gotta blow my nose. Hang on a sec. I don't know if there's something in the air or what. I'm not allergic to like things in the environment per se, but sometimes it's like my nose just starts watering and watering and watering. Sometimes it's only one nostril. I'm like, okay. And it's a pain in the butt, So anyways, and I can't take allergy pills, like anything over the counter. I can't take absolutely nothing, even for a headache, over the counter, because I'm on so much medication, y'all. Okay, should this go up or should this go down? Let me see. Oh, let me make it like this. Yeah, I'm on so much medication that it could interact with anything over the counter. So yeah, it's not like I can take anything for allergies. So I just grin and bear it. So anyways, we are almost done with this card. See how easy it is? Sometimes I tell myself I should just go ahead and make a bunch of these, like embellished stuff, so that I can, later when I have a little bit of time, make some cards, yada yada, and but the thing is that I get so busy with my store, and not only that, but sometimes I do get clients here and there on websites that I work on, and sometimes, my client will be like, Sandy, I need this done now, so I have to drop everything that I'm doing to help that customer, right? Because after all, that customer is trusting in me and my expertise to get their website issues resolved so that they can continue their business, right? So, I know what it's like, and I'm not going to say, well, let me finish my card first. No, I just have to drop everything. I put everything in a bin, and then I just start doing my stuff. So, yeah, quite often I don't get to craft like I used to. but it's okay, you know, it's all part of life. There we go. It's not perfect, but it'll do, right? Not perfect, but it'll do. Okay, so over here, we are going to go ahead and, oh, also, here's a tip for those of you who don't already exercise this, okay? When you get a chance, and I know that everything is, gosh, horribly expensive right now, but if and when you come across deals and you get a chance, see if you can get yourself different heights of foam, because that having different heights of foam, for some reason, it adds an even greater aesthetic feel to what you're making. You know, that not everything is so uniform and so forth. You know, like over here, things are, I use different heights over here, and it, I think it just, even that millimeter or whatever, it makes it even more interesting, even more, how would you say, it makes you want to look at it even longer, you know, because it has all sorts of different heights and everything. I don't know what you call it. So there. So I'm going to go ahead and use this height because it is a little bit different. See, than this other thing. And these, I get them at Amazon. They are in my Amazon page. They come 2 per bag. And let me show you how big you get. How big of a, oops, no, don't have it. This is my last one. You get them about yay big, okay? They are huge. They'll last you a long, long time. Okay, so yeah. You'll find them in my Amazon page, and the link to my Amazon page, I believe, is in my profile, my YouTube channel profile. So this is going to go right here, and see, and this is what I mean by let the embellishment dictate the size of your card, okay? So, you know, instead of going by the norm or whatever, you know, sometimes it's good to think outside the box and work your way from in to outer. You know, it's just a thought. Just like this. There we go. Just like, I hope it's straight. Let me see. Yep. It's straight. So here we have a card like this. I think it makes for a real pretty card. I'm gonna go ahead and put these in my shop. I still have to do what I did here. I still have to do this. I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna put them in my Etsy as well as in my website. You know, just something, and yeah, and then you'll see pictures too, pretty pictures of it. So I hope that this inspires you to create your own cards, and go ahead and get you that 80-pound cardstock. You know, if you have, let's see, what did I do with it? If you happen to have a Hobby Lobby by you, or you can always order it on Amazon or something, I don't think you need heavier than 80 pounds. I just picked this up for, you know, whatever. And I think it's always a good idea to have one of these, especially when they go 40% off. Remember when they used to be half off? Now they're only 40% off. And I have noticed that they've raised their prices too. So yeah, I think it's good for a card. That way, when you hand a card to somebody, it's, you know, nothing flimsy. This is going to be something that it'll be able to stand on its own, like so. And like I said, when I did my first video, I used nothing but scraps to do this, and watercolor paper for the sturdiness of the little intricate pieces. The same thing here, and different heights and things. And I decided to use them on cards that I will be putting in my shop. So yeah, this is all that I have to share with you for today. Oh yes, and thank you so much to Simon Says Stamps for my beautiful birthday card, which was done in using heavyweight cardstock, and this inspired me to do this right here with you. So thank you so very much for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Make sure that you click on that bell notification, so that way you'll know when my next crafty video comes up. And yeah, leave me a comment on the actual actual video and a thumbs up. That will help my channel a lot. It'll help the YouTube algorithms to place my video so that others will be able to watch it. Yeah, and be on the lookout for my next video coming up in a couple of days when we share with you our brand spanking new paper collection that's coming up in August, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what the ladies have come up with, all the ladies in my design team. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Okay, so I'll see you once again real soon, okay? Bye now. Have a wonderful week.